my forget-me-nots. Sleeping Lady here, ASMR. I am about ready to go to bed. My kids are sleeping. I just used a face mask. I had a lip treatment, getting hydrated. And as you can see, I have my robe on. But since I have a long week ahead of me, I decided to record another paranormal story time that I've experienced when I was a teenager. I want to do this spontaneous recording for your entertainment purposes, and either you get the creeps or get the tingles. The tingles, the tingles, the tingles, tingles, tingles. But without further ado, I am going to tell you a story when I was a teenager. In this story, I was with my cousin, and as I told you before, we lived in a village, and at the house at the time, I was living with my parents all the way at the end of the opposite side of the village. We were in the middle, and in front of our house, if you go to my porch and you look straight beyond, there'll be a lot of trees and tundra all the way down forth. And in this house, I experienced a couple, and I will tell you those experiences. Anyways, it was winter at the time, and my cousin was sleeping over, and it was nighttime, like midnight. I mean, no, it wasn't midnight. It was probably around 8, 9. And my cousin and I were in my room. But let me tell you how it looks first. So when you open my door, there's a long hallway. And at that long hallway, when you first open the door, you can see a long hallway, and into the last room onto the left was my room. And anyways, we were in my room that night while she was sleeping over. We turned off the lights, and I wasn't afraid because she was there, but that was my exception of me turning off the lights. But in general, I was really scared of my room. I never slept in my room alone. I never closed my door and slept in my room alone. I barely slept there as a teenager. I mean, maybe my teenager from 12 to like 16, well, around there. It just gave me the creeps, and it gave me an uneasy feeling staying in that room. And even to make it creepier, I had a canopy bed as a teenager. It was like the drapes were lavender, and on my canopy was a really big, like, umbrella-like canopy on top, if you know what I mean. And on the four corners of my bed, there was drapes hanging from there, and that bed was never used. It was always unoccupied because I never liked sleeping in that bed. Even though to me at the time that bed was cute, it just gave me an uneasy feeling being there and sleeping on that bed too. Anyways, me and my cousin were on the floor. The lights were turned off because we were just talking, bonding and chatting and just chilling. And my closet was always open because it gave me the creeps just having my closet closed for some reason, so it was always open. Anyways, my closet was open. I was more into the closet onto my right on the floor, and right in the corner was a stereo, and we were listening to Ashante, I remember, quietly while talking. And onto the left side, my cousin was laying down on the floor. We were laying down together talking, writing in a journal even though we barely couldn't see. And my bed was in the middle of my room, but vertical to my closet. And we weren't on the bed, we were on the floor for some reason. I don't know, just talking and chilling about anything and everything. And her feet was kind of underneath my bed, and as I was saying, the drapes went down, but on the bottom of my bed were also drapes, so I wouldn't see underneath the bed. So her left feet was on underneath the bed, but her right feet was more out of under the bed, more out of the bed. And all of a sudden she gave me these big eyes. She grabbed my wrist right here, and she held it really, really hard. And all of a sudden I thought she was just trying to get me scared because she had big eyes, and she grabbed my wrist and she looked at me and she was like, Janae. But she was like really fast, like she took my wrist and was like, Janae. And I'm like, what? And I looked at her. I thought she was just trying to get me scared. And she was like, look back, something's grabbing me on the bottom. And I thought she was playing around. And when I looked over onto her feet, her right leg was rising up with the drapes, and at the same time the bell bottoms at the time were rising, and the right side of her feet was rising along with the drapes, and her pants, you know how gravity usually makes our pants down instead of going up. And she said something was pulling and tugging at her on the bottom of her right feet, and I was able to see it. And I remember we just ran out the door, and we got really scared. And that was one of the experiences that we had as teenagers in my house, and that was really crazy. We still talk about it to this day, and we still think it's super creepy. I was able to see the visual side of it, but she was able to actually feel something carrying the bottom of her pants upwards. And I was able to see the drapes and the pants itself rising as her feet was rising. But we ran out and we stayed in the living room. But that is creepy. Very creepy. Anyways, another experience that really scares me sometimes is also in the same room with the same canopy bed that I hardly ever slept in, except it was also, I don't know, probably a different year, but a different winter. My mom and my sister were out of the village at the time, because my sister had an appointment in the village. It's very secluded, so when we have an appointment for more diagnosis or like a higher health concern or something of that sort, we have to travel in a little plane, go to Bethel AK, all the way to Anchorage AK. But anyways, they had to travel, that time, and there was only my dad and my two brothers. We were there alone, and you know, every time, me personally, when my mom was gone when I was a child or a teenager, it just felt really cold and like something was missing every time my mom was gone. So it felt uneasy. I felt very cold, and my dad was sleeping at the couch in the living room, and I told my brothers to come sleep with me because I don't know, because I was always scared of my room. The closet was open, it was dark, and it was winter. We never slept on my bed. I brought my brother's mattress to my room on the floor. I don't know why we even in the first place wanted to sleep in my room. I should have just like slept somewhere else, like in the living room with my dad and with my brothers, but we ended up sleeping in my room because we put the mattress on the floor. So when you look into my room, the door was right by the wall. You open it and you can just see the canopy in the middle of the bed, vertical to the closet, and we put the mattress on the wall next to the door, scooted a little, and I was sleeping head towards door, with my other brother head towards door, but my brother was sleeping in the middle and his face was down. So after a while they fell asleep, and I was the only one up because I was still very really uneased, and I kept on looking at the closet. I was just really scared of the closet, even though it was like dark. And it was the same house that what I've experienced, what I told you guys in the previous videos, where that unidentified object popped out of nowhere in the back of the house. But that's the same house as a teenager. We were still in there, same decade. Anyways, just a fact, just a creepy fact. So as I was trying to go to sleep, I was like moving around and looking at the closet, being freaked out. I went on to my stomach and I tried to go to sleep, and I knew my brothers were like out cold. They were like knocked out. They were sleeping already. I knew it, and you could tell when someone's just closing their eyes, or you can tell when you're actually sleeping or when someone actually is sleeping. So when I was on my stomach, I tried to close my eyes, and all of a sudden I abruptly felt this tapping, and it was on the back of my leg, on my left leg, on the back of my knee. I felt a tapping, and it was a very fast tapping, like just like that, just how I showed you on the camera. It felt that fast and that many times on the back of my left leg, back of my knees. I looked back really fast, and my brother was out cold. I tried getting him up. I was like, "Was that you?" And he wasn't budging. He was like asleep, and I got really, really, really scared. And I told one of them to get up, and I was like, "Did you just tap me on my leg like this?" And then he was like, "No," because when he woke up, he was very, very sleepy. He was very, very tired, and he didn't even know what the heck I was talking about. So I went into my living room and I slept out there. And that is another creepy video that happened in that house. I'm kind of glad we don't live there anymore. But to this day, I still have creepy dreams or uneasy dreams with that view or that house. Inside that house, it's always like weird, scary dreams or of that house with like not so good memories, or just like creepy dreams of that house still to this day. But yes, thank you my forget-me-nots, for watching. And I'm gonna get some sleep. I hope this gave you tickles, 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 tickles. Or just gave you the creeps with paranormal and creepy stories. And I also want to tell you another many stories actually, and I want to record a video just dedicated to my cousin's paranormal activities. She's in the lower 48s right now. They moved a couple years back, but I asked her if I can dedicate a video just for her paranormal activity experiences and creepy stories, and she consented yes. So I will go ahead and make another story time just dedicated about my cousin's stories. I'm excited for that one because that's also a lot of creepy stories. But again, thank you, my forget-me-nots, for visiting.